Bozja. So, Bozja is your relic questline. So your relic questline starts in the Doman Enclave, an area you unlocked in Stormblood. And if you have all the Aethernet points there, it'll actually have it at the Aetherite called Gongos. If not, you need to go down to the docks in the southern corner and teleport there. And there's a big bunch of quests. It's going to be the Queens of Gunhildr questline. And as you progress through it, it's going to take you different places. This particular relic, the first place it's going to take you is into a zone called Bozja. You're going to level up in that zone through a system called Resistance Rank by gaining an experience type called Metal. You lose metal when you die, so try to stay in big groups, and you basically do fates and boss fates called skirmishes and critical engagements. You have 2 lost actions on your bar that allows you to bring other skills that you wouldn't normally have. So you'd like, even as a tank, you could have healers, or you could have a heal or a res or whatever. Just pretty cool. Alright. And as you move through it, there are 3 raids. The first raid takes place inside Bozjan, called Castrum Latore. Bozja is broken into 3 parts, south, middle, and north. As you level up, you'll be able to go further and further, and then after you get to the north section, you'll be able to do a quest will ask you to beat Castrum once. After you've beaten Castrum once, you can progress again, and the quest will eventually take you into the second raid, which takes place outside of the zones. You queue in by talking to the person that takes you into Bozja, and it's called Delibrum. Delibrum works really, like, all the raids work different than traditional raids. They kind of break the rules, so they get to do whatever they want. They're like the limited job of raids. So they're neat experiences. Delibrum is my favorite piece of instance content added this entire expansion. I've run it a lot of times. Then after Delibrum, it will take you into a secondary zone called Zadnor. Zadnor is just upgraded Bozja. Everything drops a lot more metal. There's some really cool loot there, a whole new set of bosses. And at the end of Zadnor, there is a third raid called Del Rada. Del Rada being the third and final raid of the set. And as you go along, your relic is going to be asking for various components. Each of the components will come from an activity that you do within Bozja or Zadnor. And you can be getting components for multiple relics at the same time, as long as you have the quest for multiple relics at the same time, which means that they have to be at different steps. So you could have a relic on the 3rd step, 2nd step, and 1st step, and be in Bozja getting them for all 3. You can go into Bozja as low as level 71 on any job, and you can get components for another job's relic while playing that job. So you could be getting experience on if my samurai was 71, like my bard is, I could go in there on bard, and I could be getting components for, I think, like up to 5 relics. It's ridiculous. That aren't for bard, because bard's not level 80, and the relics go on level 80s. So I could be progressing 5 level 80 jobs relics while leveling bard, and you level up at like a rate of like 1 or 2 times an hour. It's ridiculously fast, which is awesome. And unfortunately, the raids do require that you're level 80. You can switch jobs while in there. I know at least Del Rada does. Yeah, Del Rada and Delibrum does. So there's some restrictions there. And then if you don't like Bozja and Zadnor, outside of moving your quest along in there, all the rest of the relic progression you can do, there's always an alternative step. So it'll say, you can get this step from running Delibrum, or doing Palace of the Dead, or Del Rada, or running level 70 dungeons, or so on. And so there's been a ton of interest in old raids, old dungeons, all these different things, because every relic step has had an alternate form of progression, such as fates, out in the open world, or things like that. So you don't actually have to spend a lot of time in Bozja and Zadnor if you don't want to. The Queens of Gunhildr questline is worth doing. It talks a lot about the events of Stormblood. So for anybody that came out of Stormblood with the incredibly common feeling of that story feeling very open-ended, very unfinished, Queens of Gunhildr helped a lot with that. So I think that helps a lot of people enjoy that. You can do Del Rada below level 80, only Delibrum. Okay, thank you.